What is good, guys? So it's Tuesday morning. I'm just about to get the day started, and I got a couple of people requesting to see a day in the life, so I figured I'd just put one of those together today for you. It's going to be pretty time consuming. For those of you who don't know, recording a day in the life video is a big pain in the ass because you have to carry the camera around with you everywhere basically and record everything that you do throughout the day. And it's not the most convenient of things if you have ever recorded yourself before, carrying a camera around, especially when you go into public places like I'll be today. I mean, the gym is pretty normal. I always take my camera there, so there's no real difference there. But if and whenever I go somewhere else throughout the day, I'll be taking my camera with me or doing my very best to take it with me and record everything and show you a typical day in the life, I suppose. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit stressful, I guess. It is what it is though. I want to show you guys a day in the life, especially seeing as it's been a minute since I did a day in the life video. I think I kind of did a full day of eating where I showed you sort of a day in the life earlier on when we first came here to Thailand, but since then we've moved into a new place, a place that we signed a lease on that isn't just a place through Airbnb like we were before, and we've obviously got our visas and everything, so we're locked in here for a year. So essentially, yeah, I might as well just walk you through a day in the life, a proper day in the life this time instead of a full day of eating. I'll show you some of my meals probably, but yeah, a typical day in the life starts with me making my bed. I come downstairs, go to the toilet. I always need to go to the toilet, especially when you're eating north of 4,000 calories, which I am even in a mini cut, but especially when I'm in a surplus or at the very least maintenance. So my calorie intake will obviously fluctuate anywhere between 4,000 and 6,500 depending on the phase that I'm in. So yeah, a lot of food means you need to go to the toilet a lot. So I'll make my coffee in a minute and prepare my EAAs, I'll show you that. But I've basically made the bed, come downstairs, toilet, drank a litre of water already. I'm not going to show you that because that's pretty boring. It's just me standing in the kitchen drinking a litre of water until I finish it. But yeah, I've got to make my coffee with my espresso machine, and the EAAs, I just got to prepare those. So might as well get into it. So yeah, nothing super exciting, just putting a coffee pot in the coffee machine. Wow. Fucking thrilling, isn't it? Yeah, but this is what a day in the life looks like. Boring shit. So 2 equal gold, which are basically Splendor but cheaper. If you buy Splendor over here, it's literally like gold. So I buy equal gold instead. A lot more affordable. If you buy a 50 pack of Splendor over here, you're probably going to be paying 20 to 30 bucks. I'm not paying that for artificial sweetener. Whereas equal gold, you can pick that up for like $5 a box. So a lot more affordable, a lot more cost effective in my opinion. If I was in Australia or somewhere like the States, I'd get equal. I mean, I'll get Splendor. I'm still half asleep clearly. I'd get Splendor because I do like the taste of it, but this is pretty close. This is sucralose and erythritol, I believe. So it's not the traditional equal that's made with aspartame. So I do 2 coffee pods in the morning. I, on average, have about 2 coffees a day these days. I used to have a lot more, but I have a couple of energy drinks now too, so I've just cut back on the coffee intake. So my caffeine consumption is still relatively consistent. So essentially 2 coffee pods. I drink my coffee black because I'm a real man. And yeah, I put a little bit of cold water in there if it's hot, but usually it's fine, the temperature it comes out of the espresso machine at. Just give it a bit of a stir to mix through the equal, and good to go basically. But by the time I've done my morning cardio, guys, I've had my 1.5 litres of water and EAAs. I've had my 1 litre of water that I drink straight out of bed, and I've also had my coffee, which is usually about, say, 300 ml, close to half a litre. So on average, I've already consumed 3 litres of water before I even finished my fasted cardio and my morning steps. So all the people out there who say it's impossible to get water in, like, I really don't believe you. I have friends, family members that have said, oh wow, I don't know how you drink so much water. I've even had clients say it, and I mean, it's just, you just do it, you just get the job done. Like, it's not that hard. I think I said it in my video yesterday. If you make it a priority, it's pretty easy to actually tick the boxes and drink the water. Like, it's not a difficult feat by any means. Actually, I might top this up with some more water. It's only half full. Yeah, I'll basically sit down on the couch, sip this until it's done, and go out and do my morning cardio, which is just 30 minutes plus a bunch of steps, so that way I can sit on my ass the majority of the day and not have to worry about hitting my daily steps. Because although there's a lot of upsides to being a full-time online coach, working from home, that sort of thing, there's a couple of downsides. You're literally on your ass all day. So in order to get around that and not make little bitch excuses like, oh, I can't hit my step count, I literally just keep walking on the treadmill in the morning after my fasted cardio. I just make time for it. And I understand not everybody's in that position. Not everybody can do that. Everybody has a different schedule. Like, I'm a male in his 20s who doesn't have a family, doesn't have children. I don't have the same responsibilities as somebody as, say, a married man or a married woman who has 2+ kids and works away from home, that sort of thing. So everybody's conditions or everybody's scenario is different. Everybody's circumstances are different, is what I'm trying to say. So you need to find what works for you, but this is what works for me, and this is why I do it. Because at the end of the day, I could either sit here and make excuses as to why I can't get my steps done, or why I can't do this or that, or I could brainstorm and find a solution that is viable for my specific conditions that are unique to me. And that's what we all have to do at the end of the day. But I'm going to prepare my EAAs now as well, so that's out of the way. Nothing really exciting there. I mean, I'll just come over to the fridge here. Shit. That water bottle jumped right at me. I get a bottle of water. I might have to... Thing with waters over here in Thailand is they fill it right to the brim, not like other countries like Australia or the States where they fill it, say, like a half an inch below the actual lid. So you open the lid, it almost like pops out at you. But I'm going to go Concord grape this morning, because I think I had berry yesterday morning, the blue raspberry. I just do 2 to 3 scoops of this. I don't weigh it, but it's a consistent variable day in, day out, so I don't need to. Same thing as like if before you start working with a coach, say you drink coffee with a little bit of creamer in every day and you never change that in your off season or your contest prep, you don't have to track that because it's a constant variable. Same thing with an apple. Say for example you eat an apple every single morning of your life, and you have done so long before you start working with a coach, and say for example you're in cutting phases, bulking phases, contest prep phases with that coach. As long as he's aware of it, you vocalize that to him, say, hey, I've always had an apple, am I okay to continue eating that apple? A lot of the time if they've got any brain on them, they'll say, yeah, that's fine, because it's a controlled variable, it doesn't change, so it's not going to impact your energy balance whatsoever. It's already accounted for. So yeah, that's my EAAs all mixed together. I know, exciting shit, right? My life is just thrilling. You know, it's just a ordinary day, just an ordinary person, ordinary life. People might find this interesting, but I don't really. I just think it's kind of normal. So I'll drink this coffee, sit down, have that, and then I'll see you guys down in the cardio area for my cardio and morning walk. My friend's down there at the minute. I don't know if you'll still be down there. We kind of made this promise that we would do cardio together. We're both so slack with it. We like bump into each other sometimes. Other times we don't. I slept in a bit today because yesterday my coach bumped my food up. We ended the mini cut and I wasn't prepared for it. So I was still 200 carbs behind before I went to bed. So I thought, fuck, I better stay up and finish my food. So I did. And I didn't get to sleep till 1:30. So I'm pretty tired. But it is what it is. Reset the clock tonight, reset the body clock, and get back on the usual kind of rhythm of things with my sleep schedule. least drink my coffee and cardio time. Now, in terms of being fasted for cardio, like I do fasted cardio? Yeah, I do. And people might be like, oh, well, you drink your EAAs and you drink your coffee and that's going to put you out of a fasted state. And my only response to that is go fuck yourself, because I don't really think it matters in the grand scheme of things. Especially considering if I take lipolytics, say for example, growth hormone in the morning, I'm taking it a few hours before I wake up at the very least. And that's what you honestly should do. If you're wanting to use growth hormone, leverage it for fat loss purposes. Not that you really can when you're in a surplus, but I guess you can help kind of stave off the degradation of body composition by doing some fasted cardio with some morning growth hormone. Even in a surplus, it'll help kind of improve the overall partitioning of nutrients throughout that growing phase, in my opinion, and minimize or limit fat gain. It won't necessarily prevent it though, because you're in a net calorie surplus at the end of the day, but it could slow down the rate at which you accrue fat. And I think that's worthwhile doing if you are going to be in an extended growth phase. But if that's the case, taking your growth hormone 3 hours before you do your cardio, before you consume anything that has trace calories, is ideal. And that's what I would do if I was taking it. But right now I've only been taking growth hormone right before bed. And I mean, even so, you're kind of getting some of the fat loss effects, the fat loss benefits of doing it that manner as well. Because you think about it this way, you go to bed, you shoot your growth hormone, you're not fucking eating throughout the night. So by the time you wake up, you've got a bunch of fatty acids that have been liberated into your bloodstream, and you're going to expend those and burn those when you do your morning walking, your morning cardio, whatever you're doing. But yeah, if you want to have it fresher in your system, the fatty acids, free flowing fatty acids, like fresher in your system and less likely to have already been restored away as fat, then you probably want to take it 3 hours prior to your cardio. But taking it right before your cardio is kind of pointless, because you're not even going to be burning any fatty acids from the growth hormone. If you do that, it takes 3 hours post subcutaneous injection for the growth hormone to liberate as many fatty acids as it possibly can, because that's the action time of growth hormone, and that's how long it takes to basically liberate those fatty acids. So I mean, if you're taking it right before your cardio, you're a bit of an idiot in my opinion, unless you're going to be continuing to remain active after your fasted cardio for the next 3 hours and abstain from eating or drinking anything. But if you're not, then it's kind of pointless. So yeah, if you want to be able to eat pretty much straight after your cardio in the morning, and you want to get the benefits of fasted cardio with growth hormone being leveraged, then take it 3 hours before you do your cardio. Set an alarm 3 hours prior to waking up, take it then do your cardio, then get back into your room or your house, whatever, and eat whatever you want to eat. So this is basically the cardio room I was talking about. You can see me here holding the tripod looking like a dag. But yeah, like equipment that you'd never see a real bodybuilder use. The elliptical's alright. I would use this bike if it wasn't broken, but it is broken, and for some reason they have yet to fix it. We've been here for nearly half a year. So I just jump on the treadmill. I do my incline walk at like a relatively fast pace for my cardio, getting my average heart rate, up to about 120 to 130 beats per minute. And I maintain that for about 30 minutes. And then I just keep doing steps until I hit my daily step target, which is 10,000 plus per day. So usually I'm on the treadmill every day, every morning for at least 90 to 100 minutes. And that gets my cardio out of the way, and it gets all my steps boxed off well and truly. And you got the toilet over there, another bench, bunch of mirrors, and then up that spiral staircase is what I was talking about. That's the room that they do mat Pilates in, that you never see mat Pilates being done in. But you've got the men's toilet there, the women's toilet there. That's like a doorway to the staircase, or to the emergency stairs through the entire building. Oh no, that's the door to the emergency stairs, yeah. I'm not going to record myself doing cardio the entire time, but I'll set this up for a little bit, I guess. And yeah, just walk you through what I do, I guess. So pretty much I get my Apple Watch up, indoor walk, I start the machine, and I just start fucking walking. Put the speed up to about 3.5 miles an hour to start. Usually I'll do my cardio, I'll sandwich my actual cardio in the middle of my time on the treadmill. So I'll do like 30 to 40 minutes of walking either side of my cardio. And then in the middle of my time on the treadmill, that's when I ramp up the incline, increase the speed a little bit, closer to like 4 miles, maybe 4.5 miles an hour. And I'm doing a speed walk up like a 10-degree incline, and that gets my heart rate shooting through the roof. And then I just, maintain that for 30, bring it back down to a flat, 0 incline, bring the speed back down to about 3.5 miles an hour, and just continue walking, responding to WhatsApp messages from clients, emails, and calling, say, my dad or my mum if they're wanting to talk, because obviously being in another country, your parents kind of want to keep in touch with you as much as they can. Because no matter how old you get, you're always your dad or your mum's like a little boy or a little girl. So yeah, and it's good to talk to family, but the time zone difference does make it a little bit difficult sometimes. So yeah, essentially I'll just, like I said, walk on here for about 30-40 minutes, ramp up the incline, ramp up the speed, do my 30 minutes of cardio, and then bring that back down to a flat 0 incline, right down to about 3.5 mile per hour. And I'll just sip my EAAs while I do this. And yeah, that's essentially it until I get home, shower. I'll weigh myself after I shower and after I do my cardio. So because I drink about 3 liters of water, I just subtract 3 kilos from whatever I weigh on the scales after my cardio, after my water consumption and shower. That way I get a somewhat consistent, accurate scale weight for the mornings. The reason I do it that way is I just can't be asked weighing myself first thing in the morning. And I know by the time I do cardio, any of the food from my last meal of the day kind of like clears my digestive tract from the day prior. And I prefer to do that so I'm getting a more accurate gauge of my body weight, in my opinion. Because I have a lot of food backed up in my system, I'm not gonna lie. Just the sheer amount of calories I'm eating. So I'd like to not have that gastric matter, food matter, impact my scale weight measurement as much as possible. Whether that's optimal or not, I don't give a shit. It's just how I do it. It's how I've done it since before prep. It's how I continue to do it moving forward. Yeah, already 3 minutes. Oh wow, 3 minutes out of 90 to 100 minutes. I've still got some to go. But that's the thing, a lot of people I find when it comes to cardio, they make every excuse under the sun to not do it. It's really not that fucking hard. Like, you just find a time that's convenient for you in your schedule and do it, whether that be post-workout, first thing in the morning. I like to do mine first thing in the morning, and because I have the ability to do so, I do it. It sets me up for a good day. My energy levels are better. I don't have brain fog, which is something that I do have when I wake up if I don't do any kind of movement. And I think that's definitely more common with people who have ADHD, and I'm severely ADHD. So if I don't move, I don't get sufficient dopamine to meet my body's needs, and then I just can't really do anything. My brain's not functioning. So I know in order to be mentally stimulated enough to actually get shit done throughout the day, I need to be physically active. It's kind of like a precursor. It almost stokes your brain's ability to actually function normally. So I'll do this, and then when I have a shower, get back, dive into work, I feel fresh, I don't feel depressed, and I can actually get shit done. If I don't do this, however, I feel brain dead, depressed, and nothing works. And in order to obviously help others as much as you can, you've got to take care of yourself first. And that's something that I learned after burning out a number of times over the years, because although I've got like I guess I could say a cushy lifestyle now, and you probably I doubt all of you are on this, but I can guarantee there's probably at least one person that's watching this and maybe they're a little bit resentful or envious of the fact that I have a more flexible schedule than them. But you've got to understand, I've paid my dues, I've gotten myself to a point where I can do this. But prior to this, there's been periods where I worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time, where I wouldn't sleep for 2 days straight. And I did all of that as a means to an end to basically get myself in a position where I can leverage my time to my advantage a little bit more. Like when I first got into personal training, I was still working in construction. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be a construction worker. I used to work on site, commercial sites, so not residential. So I used to do the big boy jobs, like formwork, carpentry. So I was putting together all the formwork, the framing for concrete to basically be poured and for big resorts and high rises to be built. So that's what I used to do, carry heaps of heavy shit on site all day. They were long days, hard work days, but you definitely earn your day's worth pay, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'd average like 30,000 plus steps a day on those jobs. Food, obviously, intake had to be through the roof to support that, plus training. And if I didn't go to the gym straight after I finished work, there was no way in hell that I was going to get to the gym and train, because if you go home and sit down, you're done for the day. Like your body is just so wrecked, so you need to go straight to the gym after doing that kind of a job. So you're almost extending the flogging that you're giving your body that day. Because the moment you rest, you give your body an inch, it wants a mile, and so you just have to keep pushing. And so yeah, when I did that job, it was very hard. I didn't have as much free time. I was heading to work before the sun was up. I was getting home when the sun was already down, and obviously I was squeezing in training, more of like a efficient, supersetted HIIT style of training straight after those work days. So I was out of home 12 to 16 hours of the day, and then the rest of it I was having a meal at home, showering and going to bed and sleeping, so I didn't really have a life. And then yeah, obviously I cut that back to working 4 days a week, and so I could start personal training a couple of days a week. And at that point I was working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, and I slowly built up my personal training. I dropped off the construction because it was too taxing on my body. I picked up bouncing, security work, worked in a number of different nightclubs doing door work and stuff like that, while still doing personal training in person. That was slowly built up my online coaching alongside my face-to-face personal training while doing the security. I slowly cut that back, and then yeah, I basically built the coaching up more and more to the point I could just do face-to-face online coaching, and yeah, just kind of took off from there slowly. But you've got to understand, like, it wasn't a overnight thing, and yeah, there was a point where I was getting sometimes no sleep per night or only 3 or 4 hours a night, and I just made do with what I could do. You just have to, when you have a goal, when you have something that's a priority in mind, you just have to make it work. And the circumstances and the conditions might not always be ideal, but you got to remind yourself that if you want a certain goal enough, you'll find a way to make it work. Like, where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm a very big believer in that. And it can seem futile at times, like it can seem like that's not the case, especially when you just feel like you're just constantly getting shafted by life and getting, say, drawing the short straw repeatedly. But there's always a way to kind of navigate through your circumstances in life and get what you want to get, but it might just not be as straightforward or as easy as it has been in the past or as it will be in the future. But you just have to make shit work. And I mean, ultimately, I'm in a really good position now, but there's still cons to coaching. Like, people don't realize being a coach, it's very volatile. Like, you might have really good income at one point, but coaching is the first thing that people drop when finances are tight, and because of the state of the world at the moment, with the economy getting more, I suppose, unfavourable, like with costs rising, inflation, that sort of thing. Like, if someone's feeling the pinch a little bit, the first thing that they think to do is cut their coaching, and they don't think about how that'll impact their coach or that sort of thing. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, but you got to understand that even though you might see all these positives of being an online coach or working from home, you're looking at it through a pane of tinted glass or through a pane of rose-colored glass. Like, it's not as bougie or as pretty as you think it is. You never stop working, you never switch off. If you work a 9-to-5 job, say you're a mechanic, a panel beater, a painter, a teacher not so much, you never kind of switch off as a teacher, but most of those kind of trades and stuff, unless if you're in a managerial role where you're managing people, once you finish your job for the day, you switch off, you're done, that's it. And I know that because I've obviously worked jobs like that in the past. When I worked on site, even when I was close to doing like 2IC kind of foreman kind of roles and tasks on site, I could still switch off to a degree. When I went home, it was like, okay, yeah, piss off, fuck off, all right, see you tomorrow, guys. And then you'd go home and you'd do your thing. And you wouldn't think about work till you got back on site the next day. Coaching, you're constantly thinking about your clients, because over time, the good clients, the clients that remain loyal to you and stay on board and show you continued, consistent effort, you build a relationship with them and you become friends with them. And if they're going through a tough time, you're concerned. Like, you want to do the best that you possibly can to help them as much as you possibly can. And sometimes you're unable to, and it does feel bad because you just want to be able to do nothing but help them. But it is what it is. You just never switch off as a coach. And then you're constantly doing back-end stuff behind the scenes, thinking about how can I improve my services, how am I going to create content moving forward, what do more people want, what do more people want to see less of, that sort of thing. And yes, I mean, it can be a little bit monotonous and tedious, but if you love it, you do it for the right reasons, it's great. But yeah, don't for a second think that it's just all bougie and cushy and easy. It's like, oh wow, it must be nice waking up when you want to. And so yeah, to a degree, but I don't think anyone who hasn't worked for themselves understands how difficult it is to work for themselves, because you're not answering to any boss, you're not answering to any kind of time schedule. You have to stay on top of that yourself. And I mean, just think about how difficult it is to stay on track and stay motivated with your fitness goals. The majority of people struggle to do that, let alone struggle to be their own boss. Most people wouldn't even be able to do it. They wouldn't be able to hack it. I think they like the idea of it. Like, a lot of people like the idea of working for themselves and being their own boss. But when push comes to shove, I don't think they'd actually like, or I don't think they'd realize how difficult it is and how challenging it is to actually, I suppose, parent yourself and say, all right, no, I need to wake up now. Okay, no, I need to get this done before I can do that. It's difficult because you're not answering to anyone. You can just say, oh, well, who's to say I don't just do this and I'll do that later? It's like, you can do that, but there's going to be repercussions of doing so. So you've got to kind of weigh up all that stuff. But I'm going to wrap this video up here, keep doing my 90 minutes of cardio, and, 90 minutes of walking and cardio. I'll see you guys later on. Okay, so done with my morning cardio and steps. And as you can see here, clocked up just over 80 minutes. Usually I go to 90, but I've got a couple of deliveries downstairs to pick up, which I'll show you. I'll take the camera with me so you can come along for the ride. But I got a parcel delivery and then also just a food delivery, or like a grocery delivery. I ordered some sourdough bread, but I'll go get that and I'll show you guys. Okay, so actually I'm gonna use my lift, the residential lift, not the hotel lift, because there's less floors with this lift, so it'll get to me quicker. Ground. So yeah, basically the ground level with a lobby, there's a mail room behind the lobby desk, so I'll get my delivery from there and then I'll get the food from somewhere else. Oh, okay. So 916, that's me. And there's another delivery too for me. This is my body wash. There's another, just gotta find it. It is, it's not mine. It's always a bit of a challenge to find a parcel sometimes. Oh, here we go. Oh shit, I've got heaps of deliveries. I don't even remember ordering all this. Yeah, found it. There's a lot. I didn't expect there to be this many. Oh, thank you. And just gotta get the bread. Get my fingers in the loops. And this is going to be a challenge. I'm going to get my key card out of my pocket. My hands full. I have to. Whoops. Here we go. That parcel should be right. It's just 5 litres of chlorhexidine body wash just to keep my acne at bay. And I'll do a video on that in the future. Probably on my Instagram, like a informative reel to talk about the causes of acne, like the potential causes and how to treat each potential cause. Because depending on what the cause of the acne is, that will determine the method of treatment or the ideal effective method of treatment. I'm gonna keep the camera tilted down so you can't see which floor I'm on or which number my room is. Hands are full, just knock on the door. Thank you, thank you. Okay guys, so I was a bit of a moron and I forgot to turn on the microphone for this clip, so I'll just quickly do a voiceover and explain what I was essentially summarizing in this clip. So I went on to say that I'm just cooking my rice for the day, putting in 600 grams, but I also mentioned how that's kind of irrelevant because I measure my rice and my meat cooked and not uncooked or raw. And I go on to kind of say how I disagree with the general consensus of the fitness industry and what a lot of coaches push in that cooking your food and weighing it after isn't as accurate, and they say that weighing your food raw is more accurate. I'm not a proponent of that. I don't agree with that. At the end of the day, depending on who you buy your chicken breast from, the amount of water content can vary in that chicken because some suppliers pump their chicken full of more water than others, and that's going to skew and distort the reliability or the accuracy of the raw weight nutrition data for that chicken breast that you're getting. So I don't think it's any more accurate than cooked weight, especially if you're cooking your chicken the exact same way, using the same cooking method, cooking it at the same temperature for the same duration, the same amount of chicken each time you cook it. Then I would argue that cooked weight chicken breast is probably potentially even more accurate than raw weight, because if you use the same cooking process, if you've got a batch of chicken that say is pumped full of more water than another batch, that batch of chicken is going to lose more water weight in the cooking process than the one that's pumped with less water. And at the end of the cooking process, you're going to be left with a more accurate comparison or a more consistent weight of actual chicken breast meat. And for that reason, I think the cooked weight nutrition data could even potentially be more accurate in some instances. Mind you, it doesn't really matter which one's more or less accurate though. A lot of it just comes down to your consistency with your method. So I also mentioned that it just depends on what you prefer doing. I honestly really do think that it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just be consistent with your method. If you can't consistently cook your foods the exact same way, don't use cooked weights. If you can, use cooked weights. But if you can't, just go off of raw weights. And that's pretty much what I was kind of saying in this clip. But I'll cut the clip here because there's not really much else to touch on. I just kept rambling. But yeah, cooked weight, uncooked, raw weight, it really doesn't fucking matter. Just choose what you can consistently adhere to, what works for you, what's easier for you, more convenient. And just acknowledge at the end of the day that the difference it makes is probably going to be negligible, if anything. And I would argue that cooked weight's actually probably a lot more accurate if you're using the same cooking method. Like, I cook the rice the exact same way every single time. A kilo of rice to 1.5 kilos of water. I use the same amount of salt in terms of grams. I put it in the same rice cooker. I cook it with the same setting on the rice cooker, so it is literally identical. It's cooked in a controlled environment in that rice cooker, so there's no real variables for error to go there, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here because I'm hiccuping, and I'll see you in the next clip. Alright, repping the INTRA shirt. Best health supplements in Australia, by the way, guys, if you weren't already aware. I'm not just with them because they're sponsoring me, or I'm not just a fan of them because they're sponsoring me. I actually wanted to be sponsored by them because they're such a good company. But this is basically what I'm dealing with for my meal number one. I'll try to cover my face so it focuses on the food. There we go. It's got facial recognition, so it'll always focus on a face in shot if I don't cover the face. But yeah, 300 grams of egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 100 grams of whole wheat sourdough, 30 grams of Smucker's reduced sugar strawberry jam, and then just a little bit of PB Fit mixed with some water just to add a little bit of extra flavour. Usually I don't have flavour, to be honest. I've got like 5 grams of ketchup and mustard on the eggs. Usually I don't have flavour on my food. I don't have any issues getting the food in if I'm just below maintenance or in a deficit, but when I'm in a surplus or at maintenance or just north of it, it's hard. Like, it becomes a chore getting the food in for someone like me who doesn't really have a massive appetite and has to eat north of 5,000 calories in order to gain weight. So yeah, adding a little bit of flavour does go a long way. Helps us make the food a little bit more palatable, or dare I say hyper palatable, and then you can get the food in easier. So I'm going to eat this. Usually I'd take my supplements, my full stack from Innodose, the heart supplement, the digest aid, the liver supplement, and the kidney supplement. And I would also just take some berberine because they haven't brought out their GDA yet. But once they do, I'll switch over to that because it'll be a better quality one. But yeah, usually I take that, like I said. But due to the fact that I take my antibiotics in the morning and in the evening at the moment, and I've got another 2 weeks of those at least, there's no real point because it will interfere. Some of those supplements will interfere with the absorption of the antibiotics, particularly the heart product because it's got vitamin D3 and K2 in it. So I'm just going to take the berberine, and I won't even take the digest aid. I'll take the digest aid with my second meal of the day, and I'll take all the other supplements with the second meal too. But yeah, first meal and last meal of the day I've got antibiotics, so I don't take any other supplements with it just to avoid any kind of interactions there. But I'm going to finish watching the video from my friend Paul Barnett. He put up, it's Ryan Root, Confessions of a Steroid Kingpin. So it's about like a steroid dealer that got busted a while ago. It's really interesting, just a really interesting guy, and he's got a tertiary level like academic background too. He studied biochemistry at uni, so it's pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm just going to keep watching that, eat this. I won't record myself eating it, it's a bit pointless, and I'll see you guys a little bit later in the day. Alright, so it's only been about 10 minutes since the last clip, but I thought I'd just show you guys the opening of this parcel that I got. The other one's with my fiance, so that's why there were so many parcels. So I was like confused at first why I had so many deliveries, because I only ordered 2 things, but the reason was she ordered stuff as well. So, oh wow, a pair of socks that don't fit. I didn't order that, but that's a nice gesture. I just got 3 animal tank tops off Lazada. I don't even think that they're real animal tank tops, like they were cheap as hell. They're like $4 each, but yeah, made in China, but it's got the animal logo on it. I like the animal logos, so I got 3 animal tank tops. I got a black, grey, and a red one. Just because ordering online is the only way you can find clothes that fit you if you're a foreigner in Thailand. If you're a foreigner that's not a midget, that is. Like, they sell Thai sizes over here, but a double XL Thai size is the largest size you'll find in most outlets in Thailand, and it's probably the equivalent to like a medium in Australian sizes. And so obviously you can imagine I don't fit in that. I mean, in Australia I was taking a 4 or 5 XL, so I need to order stuff online so I can choose international size products. But yeah, I'll probably watch another 5 minutes of this and I'll dive into today's check-ins. Tuesday is my first check-in day of the week. I don't do check-ins on Monday. It's a rule that I keep to myself. Just because it's a bit chaotic if I do that. I like to be able to warm up and ease into the week of work. And I usually got a lot of other stuff like emails to catch up on from over the weekend on Monday, so I don't like to kind of bog up my Monday with like unnecessary extra work. So I'll just stagger my check-ins over Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, and then Saturdays as well now. And yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Everyone has a dedicated check-in day, and I make sure that I don't load work on any one day, I always cap the number of check-ins I do on each day. So that way, the time it takes me to do the check-ins roughly takes the same amount of time each day that I do check-ins on. But yeah, a couple of my clients actually have their birthday today, so I sent them a few messages earlier when I was doing my cardio just to say happy birthday to them. But they're awesome. I love them. So shout out to Cassie and Frank if you guys are watching. I just want to say happy birthday again. And yeah, time to chill a little bit more, let the food digest a bit, and then start check-ins. Because if I try to do check-ins straight after eating, I find I'm burping repeatedly in the first check-in recording, and it's a pain in the ass. So I like to let food settle and sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes before starting check-ins, so that way when I roll into doing them, I don't have to re-record them because of the repeated burping at the beginning of it. So yeah. Okay, so it's 4 p.m. now, time for second meal of the day. I'm a little bit behind schedule here, but finished check-ins now, so I'm going to dive into this. And it's been a few hours since I had my first meal, which I had my antibiotics with, so my first lot of my 2 daily doses of antibiotics. And that means I can have my other supplements now. So I'm going to take all my health supplements that I usually take, or that I would usually take with my first meal if I wasn't on antibiotics. And so I'll walk you guys through those, and then I'll walk you through this meal too. But basically, kidney product by Inadose. A full serve's 10, so I'm going to take 5. I take the other half of the serve with my second last meal of the day. Because it's my last meal of the day, I take my second serve of antibiotics, so I want to keep those separate from one another. But yeah, alpha lipoic acid, just to name some of the ingredients. You've got astragalus root extract, you've got beetroot extract, you've got grapeseed extract, you've got bioperine to help improve the overall absorption and bioavailability of those ingredients. So good one there. Then I'm going to take a serve of the heart, which is 4 capsules. You've got vitamin D3, K2 in here, coenzyme Q10, the ubiquinol form. You've got some curcumin in here, you've got some olive leaf extract, and again, bioperine to help improve the absorption of all those ingredients. I'm also going to take a serving of the liver, and I also pair this. I also take 1.8 grams, 1.8 grams of N-acetyl L-cysteine, because it's not in this product due to the fact that it's not TGA approved. But this does have a very bioavailable form of orally ingestible glutathione by Cetria, so that's good. Most glutathiones aren't that bioavailable, which is why I like to opt for N-acetyl L-cysteine. Because it's cheaper, it's more bioavailable than most powdered glutathiones, but this has a very high bioavailability, this one, so just, I suppose, the more the merrier. But N-acetyl L-cysteine is a precursor to glutathione, so it pretty much serves the same function if you supplement with that as does supplementing with a bioavailable source of glutathione. So you got milk thistle in here, you've got glutathione, like I said, the real bioavailable form. You've got some artichoke extract, you've got some estrogen, which has astragalus and a few other things in there. And you've got bioperine too to help improve the overall absorption of that product. So I'll have a serve of that, which is 4 capsules. And then I also have 1 digest aid, which I have with 3 meals throughout the day. I also take prebiotics at the moment because I'm on antibiotics and I have been for 3 months. So just to try help improve the overall gut flora. But yeah, this has lactase in it, cellulase, lipase, protease, and amylase. And it's also got some bioperine in here, so it helps improve the utilization of those other ingredients. But yeah, digestive enzymes in this product to cover the basis for all macronutrients that you're going to consume throughout the day, as well as lactose, which is a specific kind of sugar, obviously. Berberine, I also take 1 of these, 600 milligram berberine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously the N-acetyl L-cysteine, I'll take that as well. I've just got the Now Foods brand, but I won't pull that up. You know what that looks like, or you should do. But the meal is, I'm going to have to heat it up again before I eat it because it's gone cold now, but 300 grams of rice, 150 grams of ground chicken breast, just easy to eat that way instead of chewing it as much. A little bit of iceberg lettuce for texture and crunch, a little bit of French's yellow mustard, a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'll put the macros, like I said, on the screen, or I'll put all the macros for all the meals today in the description box down below. But yeah, I don't measure the lettuce, obviously, there's no point. I'm in a surplus and it's so negligible it doesn't matter. The rice and the chicken, cooked weight, so 300 grams cooked weight, 150 grams cooked weight. I'm going to smash this, watch a little bit of YouTube, and then I'll probably be getting ready for the gym shortly after that. May or may not have another meal depending on how full I feel before the gym. And if I do, I'll show you the meal. If not, I'll just show you the training session and the post-workout meal after. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So see you shortly. All right. So I've let that meal settle now. It's half digested. And I just wanted to mention what I'm kind of doing at the moment. So I'm just going through my daily checklist. I've got a checklist basically that I write for each day of the week at the end of each week. So say Sunday night, I kind of just plan out and map out roughly what I've got to do in the coming week. I'll put all the non-negotiables. So obviously know I do morning fasted cardio every day. I know I'll check in with my coach on Monday. So I'll put all of those tasks in my to-do lists for the week coming. And then I'll just continue to fill out the checklists as I map out the remainder of my week. And that way I have everything kind of laid out in advance, so I can just kind of go through and box things off, tick them off as I complete them throughout each day of the week. So yesterday I got all of my tasks done. I ticked them all off. Today I've gotten the majority of them done, to be honest. Recorded a day in the life, like that's just an ongoing thing I'm doing throughout the day, but I've ticked that off. My fasted cardio, WhatsApp messages, emails. Still got a couple of emails that came through a bit later in the morning, just some inquiries that I have to get back to, so I'll get back to those later today. But other than that, I've done all of my email work, all of the WhatsApp messages. I've done my Tuesday check-ins. I've rescheduled an appointment that I had later in the week to be a couple of hours later than initially planned, just so I don't run into any scheduling issues. And now all I have left for the day currently is record 3 reels for Instagram, because I'm batch recording a bunch of reels at the minute. Each day I'm just doing a handful, and I'm going to go through and just bulk edit them all soon, later this week, and most likely just schedule them to automatically upload on social media over the coming weeks. But I'll record 3 more today, and then I'm going to train my back and rear delts today as well. Record that obviously and include it in this video, but that's pretty much all I have left on the list of things to do today. I also want to call my mum too. I was intending on doing that when I was doing cardio earlier, but she wasn't free, and so I'm going to try squeeze that in at some point here between now and the end of the day, whether that be as I'm walking to the gym or shortly before I leave the gym. I'll figure it out, but I'll probably start editing those, start recording those Instagram reels, and then I'll head to the gym. Okay, so it's now 6:10. I've recorded 1 of my 3 reels for the day, only 1. I spoke to my mum on the phone, managed to squeeze that in, which was good. Haven't spoken to her for a while. And now I'm just going to chow down on this pre-workout meal and head to the gym. So I'll let it digest too. Of course, I won't go straight after I eat it. I'll let it settle for a little bit, but 100 grams of cereal. Can't really see it because if I tilt the bowl, it'll fall out of the bowl. I'm not going to do that. 100 grams of cereal, 125 grams of frozen berries, 45 grams or 1.5 scoops of whey isolate just in some ice cold water. I just pour that over, put a little bit of cinnamon on there, sprinkle some salt on there to help with some hydration, and that's pretty much it. That's what I eat at the minute as of my new macros that I received yesterday. So I'm going to eat this, there's this TV series I've been watching. It's an Amazon original series on Prime. It's called In Your Dreams. It's like a low budget kind of TV series, but it seems pretty good so far. I mean, I'm only an episode in, so it could turn to complete shit, but I might watch a little bit of that while I polish this off. I don't really watch much stuff like TV or YouTube or anything like that. Only when I eat a meal will I watch something. Aside from that, I never really watch anything, to be honest. I just don't have the time or don't really have the care or the desire to do it. I mean, I can list on one hand the amount of times I've gone to the movies to see an actual film in the past, say, 4 years. It's not really something that I do much of anymore. I used to be a real movie buff. I'd watch 1 or 2 films a day when I was in high school, but not anymore. It's not really appealing to me, I guess you could say that. So I'm going to eat this. I'll see you guys at the gym. Okay, so no intro in the gym because obviously this video started well and truly before the training session. But to walk you through what I've got today, because it is the first back read-out session of the new training block, so it is quite different to what the last block looked like. I'll just walk you through exercise by exercise what I've got. So face pulls, cable crossbody rear delt flies, hammer strength vertical row. Then I got cable pullovers, T-bar row, and the hammer strength DY row, which is a little bit different to the hammer strength low row that I've used in the past few blocks. It's a underhand grip low row, not like a neutral grip low row. So it's a little bit different in terms of the positioning of the wrist and how kind of abducted your arm is from your body when you're doing the row. It's a little bit more adducted, closer to the midline of the body. But I find it gets a little bit more lat, a little bit more bicep involved than the neutral grip hammer strength low row does. So yeah, that's what I got. It's between 2 to 3 sets of everything, I believe. Oh, actually 3 sets of everything. So everything's just 3 sets. Pretty high volume session, but that's just the way I like it. So I'll do a warm-up set just with 31.8 kilo, or what is it, 70 pound. And after the 70 pound warm-up, I'll jump to the working weight and punch out 3 sets. Oh. All right. Working weight, 130 pound. Just gonna have to move the bench to actually get it in. Bench is in the way. There we go. So yeah, 3 sets of 10 to 15 at 130 pounds. And then onto the crossbody cable rear delt flies. There's a close cable station here. Hopefully it's fully functional and it's not out of order. If it is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do it on. Hopefully you can hear me too. The gym's incredibly fucking loud tonight. So I'm not sure if you'll hear me, but fingers crossed you will. I'm really tempted to put my hat on because I could just clip it on there and it'll be a lot easier to hear me. But I'm not keen on people commenting saying, oh, you fucking Sam Sulek lookalike. I'll see how I feel. If I get sick of the loudness of the gym and where the mic is on my shirt, I'll switch it over. Set number 2. Oh. So obviously I wanted to do the crossbody redelt flies, but the cable station, the only one in the gym that you can do them on, like the narrow cable station, it's out, well, half of it's out of water. One of the cables isn't working. It's got like duct tape around it. It looks real sketchy. So I'm just going to do the redelt rows on this high row machine instead and supplement it with that because it's close enough movement wise. It's going to target the same muscle still. It's not what I want to do, but it's what I have to do. So just put the seat down a notch or two, and I believe I was up to 120 last time, so we'll start with that first week of the new block. Final set of these, and so far they're going pretty good. They actually feel, movement wise, they feel better than they felt last time I had them in rotation, so that's always a good sign. I'm getting a good like pump, good mind muscle connection, so I think I'm going to get a lot of longevity out of this exercise. I might just keep it in permanently instead of the cable redelt flies, even if they end up getting around to fixing the machine, which I don't think they will. But even if they do, I think I'm just going to stick with this. So got 14 on the first set, 13 on the second, so if I can go like 13 again, that'll be pretty good, I think. So yeah. All right, let's do it. Three sets of this, starting with the weight that I pretty much used in my deload week because I didn't really scale the weight back on this exercise, and the rep range is 8 to 12, so if I get like an easy 12 on the first set, I probably won't count this set and I'll just increase the load and I'll do set 1 again. But if it feels kind of within 2 reps from failure, even if I hit 12 reps, 2 reps from failure, I'll keep it probably at this weight for the first week and I'll just punch out all 3 sets, and then next week I'll increase it because first week of a new block, you want to kind of like feel out the new movements a little bit and then start to load from there. It's not the end of the world if you don't go balls to the walls in the first week of the session or first week of the program. That's what I meant to say. So before I do this next set, thought I'd kind of cover or explain why I don't use straps. Personally, I just don't use them because grip isn't a limiting factor for me. But like if, say for example, your grip fails before your back fails, it's a good idea to use straps when you train back. Like I personally just don't have that problem, but I know a lot of people out there do. I've used straps in the past, but it's just not necessary in my situation. But yeah, if you find you're training back and say you're getting on with your set, grip starts failing, and you have to end the set prematurely, not because your back's fatigued, but because your grip just can't sustain the movement anymore, then yeah, I think it's a good idea to use straps, because at the end of the day, we're trying to train our back when we train back. So yeah, they're a little bit of insight. I'm not using them because I think they're stupid or anything like that. I think they're really useful. They're a really viable tool to have in your toolbox if you want to get the most out of your back training, if grip is a limiting factor. But if it's not, there's no need to worry about it. And the way I see it, because grip isn't a limiting factor for me, and because I don't directly train my forearms, to work my forearms a little bit more, just gripping things very tightly helps kind of grow the forearms a little bit. That's that isometric contraction. But yeah, 2 sets to go, and then onto the pullovers, and then 2 row variants. You got the T-bar row and the hammer strength low row, underhand grip. Tell you what, I can feel the pre-workout meal moving around, even though I haven't eaten much today. Just because it was so close to training, I can definitely feel it slushing around in my stomach. It's not a good feeling. Alright, on to the next movement. Pullovers. Just gotta unload the machine first. Yeah, so 2 sets of 10 to 15, no, 3 sets. 3 sets, yeah. Weight-wise, because my back's already warm, I'm gonna jump straight into the work-in sets. 59.1 kilo or 130 pound if you're in the States and use the imperial system. So fix that lens up a little bit, there we go. So yeah, that first set was pretty good, felt decent, but I didn't really quite get as much of a stretch at the end of each rep as I wanted to. So you want to step a little bit further back on this set, just by like maybe 2 to 3 inches, and hopefully that'll be enough to just elicit a little bit more of a deeper stretch. Because when we break down the whole repetition, the eccentric and the lengthening or stretching of the muscle is what I suppose potentiates the most muscle growth. It's that loaded stretching, I guess you could say. Oh, that's better. Just adjust my hands so they're even. All right. Okay, final set. I lost 2 reps on that second set and I got 10. So 12, 10. So this one, I might only get 8 reps, but I really hope I get at least 10. See how we go though. You never know till you try, right? Should have controlled that negative. Oh well. I have to say I'm not actually doing as well as I expected to do on these today, given how well I performed in my deload week last week on this exercise. But I do need to keep in mind that I wasn't as fatigued when I got to this exercise last week as I am this week. Tonight I've already done, well, 6 sets of back prior to even starting this, and that they were hard sets too. Whereas last week I hadn't, so a little bit of cumulative fatigue throughout the session. One more of these and then on to the last exercise of the session, the DY row, hammer strength DY row. Let's make this a good one. The grips are really good on this, but they're just tearing my hands up big time. So, on to the last exercise now. And with this one, I'm not going to be focusing as much on getting like a real strong contraction at the end of each rep. Focusing more on just control the negative, getting a deep stretch at the end of the row. Still going to obviously row back and retract. I'm just not going to retract as much as I possibly could. So I'm in a little bit heavier, almost kind of like partial reps, I suppose. Intentional, deliberate partial reps in that lengthened range. Is this the only right way to perform it? No. Is this the wrong way to perform it? No. It's just simply a way to perform it. Technically there's no only right way to perform an exercise. You can manipulate it slightly within reason to emphasize different aspects of that movement, like what you kind of wanted to get out of it. If you wanted to get more a loaded contraction, then obviously reduce the load. Really focus on maximizing that squeeze. If you're wanting more of a deep stretch, you can load it up a little bit heavier and spend more time in that lengthened position. If you want to be hitting more upper back, get more kind of extension through the spine, through the thoracic. If you want to hit a little bit more mid lower back, get a little bit of a flexion going. Simple shit like that. At first that wasn't too bad, but I think I kind of maybe rushed into it a little bit too soon after finishing the last set of the T-bars, because I only got 10 reps and realistically I should have probably gotten at least 11 or 12. But we'll see how this set goes. If it's any better, then I know I just rush the rest interval. If not, then I know I'm just fucked at this point of the session and that's all I've got. I think that's all I have. I think I was just fucked. I'm still fucked. One more set to go and then time to head home and wrap the day up. Let's make this a banger of a set. Yeah? Can't believe I just said banger. Fuck, I sound like a Gen Z. I know this is a rare sight. It's not very often you see somebody unloading a machine that they use in the gym, right? Most people are inconsiderate fucks. And me, I'm not. I actually give a shit about other people who use the gym. Because you never know if an old person might need to use the equipment, or if one of those skinny, fucking weak, wannabe Anthony Mantello broccoli head pricks want to use the machine. Okay, so finally home from the gym, showered. It's currently 9:15 at night, and I'm getting my post-workout meal, or my fourth meal for the day, in. It's pretty much a repeat of the second meal of the day, which was basically rice, ground chicken, and a little bit of lettuce and some barbecue sauce and mustard. The only difference with this one is I got 350 grams of cooked rice instead of 300. And that's only because I miscalculated earlier in my pre-workout meal. I thought I put 100 grams of cereal, but I only put 90 when I added it all up. So yeah, just an extra 50 grams of cooked rice to make up for the missed carbs from the cereal. And that's pretty much it. I'll put the macros obviously in the description or on the screen. So I'm going to dive into something on YouTube while I eat this, and then finish off those last two reels, record those last two reels. And that'll pretty much be the full day. I'll start editing this video, that is, tonight, and see how much I can get through that. Still got a couple of meals, so I might record a little bit more food, or show you a few more of my meals, a couple more of my meals, but that'll just be dependent on how I go time-wise, because I might just want to smash them and try get them out of the way, so I can dive into these couple of reels and the editing of this video. But that's pretty much it, guys, so far. Pretty boring day. I'm sure it's been pretty boring for you to watch, but that's the reality. I didn't want to be fake. I just wanted to be transparent, and that's what a typical day in the life looks like for me. A lot of the time I feel like I'm running slightly behind the 8 ball, and I'm constantly trying to catch my own tail. But it is the life that I live, and yeah, I love it, but it can get a bit frustrating at times. Anyway, I'm going to eat this, watch something, and I'll see you guys later probably. Just a little bit of a close-up for you, because I didn't really show a close-up of it before. Essentially like a mountain of rice under there, and then ground chicken breast and some lettuce, and I'm just going to wash it down with this. So I took my second dose of antibiotics just prior to this meal, instead of doing it with my final meal. So that means I can have dairy with my final meal, because I forgot with this new meal plan I've got dairy in my final meal, and calcium can impair the absorption of antibiotics, so I want to avoid having the second dose of antibiotics around any kind of calcium containing foods. So yeah, I'll do that, and see you guys shortly. Because I'm a little bit behind food today, I'm deviating quite a bit from my normal nutrition plan, like my normal meals that I have. I've missed the chicken and rice meal that I should have had earlier in the day, because usually I've had 3 chicken and rice meals. By this point I've only had 2. And so to catch up on the carbohydrates and stuff, I've just opted for some lower volume, easy to kind of consume foods to kind of meet my targets for the day, because it's already 10 o'clock at night and I've still got another 2,500 calories to go. Probably won't record eating the rest of the food, because I just want to obviously get it down. But basically I've got some whole wheat sourdough here, just 2 slices, 90 grams, 30 grams of Smucker's reduced sugar strawberry jam, and a little bit of PB Fit powdered peanut butter on top as well. So kind of like PB&J on toast. But I go for the PB Fit powdered peanut butter because it's lower in fat, and I keep my fat intake pretty low because my carb intake's through the roof. And it's just better for my digestion. I get diarrhea if I eat too much fats. Slows down the gastric motility too much in my digestive tract, and then I just get bogged up. It's not fun. So yeah, that's basically my reason for it. Total, like I only really total 50 grams of fat per day, but my carbs are always north of 800 when I'm at maintenance or in a surplus. So yeah, just to help increase the speed of the gastric emptying rate, I do that. But I'm going to dive into a little bit of YouTube while I eat this and probably respond to one more email, and then it'll be time to just eat the rest of my food and go to bed. But I'll probably wrap the video up here, guys. I'll include all my meals that I normally eat. Not this, because obviously I don't normally eat it, but I'll include all the meals I normally eat and the macros in the description box down below so you can see my current diet for my maintenance intake. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, guys, I'm stoked. And hopefully, yeah, I can get a proper full day of eating video done soon. But they're a pain in the ass, just as much as a day in the life is. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.